Okay, it's 4:31. We'll get the meeting started here. Moorhead Public Service Commission welcomes and encourages customer input on issues listed on the agenda or of general water electric utility interest, time and commission permitting. Speakers are limited to 3-minute presentations. Customers wishing to address the commission regarding a specific agenda item will be afforded an opportunity during the discussion of that item. Customers wishing to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be given the opportunity to do so under the heading Customers to be Heard/recognitions. Each person requesting the opportunity to speak is asked to fill out a request to speak form located on the table in the back of the room and present it to the administrative assistant in attendance at the meeting. Any follow-up or feedback will be done by email on anything that cannot be resolved this evening. With that, I'll call the meeting to order. All right, I'll move to item number 2, approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Borgen, second by Ness. Let's see, we do not have to do roll call. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. Moving on to item number 3, approve a consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Lyseth, second by Borgen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. We'll go to item number 6, customers to be heard, recognitions. Do we have any customers to be heard tonight?
No customers to be heard, and I have no recognitions tonight, next month.
All right. Let's move on to old business. Any commissioners have any old business to address tonight? Not appear so. So we'll move on to reports. City Council report.
All right, thank you. So for the last month, we have continued to talk about the budget, and by a certain date in December, which I think is maybe the 20th or maybe even before that, we have to set the budget. And we, as a council, had determined a month or so ago that we were not going to go over 5% or 5.8%. We had a workshop today, and we do not have consensus about what that levy and tax rate increase will be. So we were probably going to have another workshop on it. Yeah, so we'll get there hopefully, but it's kind of interesting. So, you know, the levy percent without doing anything is nearly 10%. That's not adding any new staffing, and that equates to a tax increase of about 3.8%. So adding 1 position, 2 positions, or 3 positions are other options that get us up to a 5% tax increase, which the levy percent, I believe, was closer to like 14%. So that's where we're at. And just for your information, I'm one of those who is not really excited about a 5% tax increase for the citizens of Moorhead, but I think I'm on the losing side of that argument, to be honest. That's it.
Right. Thank you. We'll move to Public Service Commission. Any commissioners have anything? No? Okay, we'll move on to General Manager's report.
All right, I've got a fairly lengthy general manager report. Again, this is to provide third quarter strategic plan updates. I've got my updates within the general manager's report. I'll let you guys read those. I really want to hit on the dashboards. It really kind of shows the operations over the KPIs or the operations over the third quarter. Again, that's July, August, September. Of course, it's warm at that point of the year, so we've had to purchase more power than budgeted and energy. Wind turbines have actually been running, which is good. Nothing on the NERC side of things. We did have about 14 outages. However, that kind of kept us within our indices that we report on. So the main one is the 99.99 to 99.999%, and we're right in the middle of that. So we're doing good from that perspective as well too. We can also see a lot of projects being done for conservation improvement, energy savings, as a lot of that construction's happening or was getting completed. So we're seeing some increases in those savings as well as rebates being paid out as well. From the financial perspective, again, for third quarter, operating revenue was better than budget by about 3%. Revenue was better than budget by about 2%. We do have some market, I'm forgetting it now, market stuff that we have to book as well too every month. And that is actually showing us to be doing way better by about 27%, but a lot of those don't come to maturity. And that's on the electric side. On the water side, revenues are about 11% under budget. Again, that's expected based on the loss of Anheuser-Busch. Operating under budget, close on the operating revenue budget. The expenses side is close to budget on that as well too. Again, same situation on the net position side of it as well too, where we've got those market or investments that we have to note as well too. So HR side of things, we had one part-time, full-time person come on board during the third quarter. We've also included all of our IT dashboards as well too. I'm not going to go through those because I don't understand them half the time, but overall it looks like from ticket requests and phishing schemes and cybersecurity, we're doing pretty good with that as well too. From the safety side of things, we had one incident and one near miss in the third quarter as well, and we've also included our social media dashboards as well. On the water side, it's been a tough summer, I'll say that much, and as you can tell within the report and within the dashboards, our cost for treating a million gallons has gone up compared to 2024, and you can also see those trends are a lot higher over the last 3-year average and even and then 2019 to 2021 as well too. So we're fighting a battle with the red and its hardness. We'll keep working on that as well too. And then finally, just kind of going over that lovely matrix we got as well too. As you can see, we're getting to third quarter. We're getting some more of those first year accomplishments marked off. They're noted in green. Some of these are ongoing throughout the year, so you'll see those close out towards the in January when we report, or February when we report again. And then, yeah, just trying to finish up a bunch of stuff as well too before the end of the year. So overall, I think we're doing really well. We did have strategic planning in late October, and that's going well, and we'll be bringing back the 2026 information at the next meeting as well too. And now that I've got that fun part of the general manager's report done, we'll hit some of the other things. We also had the extended or wouldn't say extended, we have a evergreen policy with our term within the MMUA or Minnesota Municipal Utility Association Safety Management Program. No changes to that. We're just seeing about a 3.5% increase in our costs, and that's about $38,500 a year for that. We do have a employee come, or a MMUA employee come in and do all of our safety training and safety inspection stuff as well too. We did get our final drought adder notification. They are still planning to do what they had noted in the first one, and we're going to see some of that drought adder come off at the first of 2026. That was expected. Nothing changed, even though it was a little dry the last few months. They're going to move forward with that as well too. Another great item here, the Light Up Navajo project. This is a project that MRES started in 2025. They sent 8 line workers down to the Navajo Tribal Utility Association on the Navajo Reservation down in New Mexico and Arizona. In 2026, they're going to double up on that, and they're going to send 16 people over 2 weeks, so 8 and 8, And they are asking for the membership to add in staff. MPS does have 8 of our 9 linemen or 9 workers that are interested in attending that. We've committed 3 to 4 currently, but we're still working with MRES to figure out if they need to send additional people down there to hit their goal of 16. Once we have more definitive numbers, we'll be bringing something back to the commission for approval at that point. But great project. Again, there's about 10,000 tribal members in the Navajo Nation that do not have electricity today. So they have to travel to get hot water, they got to get drinking water, all that stuff. And so they'll go down there and provide electricity to those customers as well too. So great event, and I'm very excited to see our crews going down there as well too. We did get a couple of thank yous, one from Moorhead Sausage Fest for the sponsorship, and then the Moorhead Business Association for their annual membership celebration. And then we did participate in the trunk or treat, and we gave out about 114 pounds of candy and some drawstring bags that kids could hold their candy in. There's some pictures within the general manager's report for that as well too. And that finishes my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Schmidt. I'll look for a motion to approve the general manager's report.
Second.
Motion by Ness, second by Borgen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, everyone's favorite subject. We'll move to 8D. Accept report on contract extension for hauling and beneficial use services for lime residuals and water from the water treatment plant.
Sure, I'll have Mark come up and speak to the update on this. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Travis. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Manager. Like you said, everyone's favorite subject, the saga of lime solids continues. So for the calendar year 2025, that was the first full year of the new renewed contract with Border States Paving. We agreed to the terms December 3rd, 2024 at that commission meeting, at which we set up that new contract that had options for additional one-year extensions, up to 2 individual one-year extensions. So this is the end of that original contract timeframe, and as in the previous contract that we also had the same stipulations for, we vetted the existing contract performance, looked at the suitableness of the contractor to continue their work, and we negotiated with them for a no-cost increase for 2026 for lime hauling. So that's a good news win for us. So we're sticking at $85 per cubic yard of material. On an annual basis, we generate about 10,000 cubic yards. So we're looking at a little less than $1 million annually for this ongoing lime solids handling and disposal. So it is something that we are actively still pursuing other options for mitigation for cost perspectives moving forward. So that part is still in the works in the background as we go. But again, as part of the contract, we do have the option to do one-year extensions, and given the fact that we have no cost adders, we were opting to exercise that one-year extension like we have in the past. A difference between this extension and ones that we've done in the past is we did get a request to have a successor in interest named for Border States. Technically, it's the same people that have been doing the contract hauling since the beginning of our services being needed in 2021. So Border States made Evergreen ND LLC to take care of this trucking work for us, and they're asking that after we did a balance review sheet to make sure that everything met our internal requirements, that they pass on that successor in interest to Evergreen. So after we reviewed, it met all of our standards, and we're recommending that for moving forward and exercise that part of the contract. So.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, motion by Borgen, second by Baker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll move down to item number 14, award bids for the 2026 water treatment and wastewater treatment chemicals.
All right, I'm going to have Mark Pritchard come back up because this is his baby. Again, we've, like I noted earlier, we've had to use a lot more chemicals in the last couple of years because of the quality on the Red River, and so Mark's got some information to update you on. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Travis. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Manager. As Travis had mentioned, we are battling some pretty excessive hardness levels in the Red River, and that is reflected in our budgets going into 2026. We're looking at keeping that number steady at 2.1 million here going into 2026. For the bids that we received, we did notice that about 9 of the 14 chemicals used for MPS's drinking water treatment did stay stable or went down in price. The issue at hand is they're not ones that we use a ton of, so we're not really seeing a whole lot of cost savings on that front. Just as a general overview, between lime, soda ash, and liquid ferric sulfate, it accounts for over 80% of our budget, and that's all in the softening process at the head of the treatment train to remove primarily hardness, dirt, heavy metals, and other contaminants within the Red River. One of the items that we added here was the orthophosphate solution here last year. We did receive multiple bids, and we did have one that was not meeting specifications. Statistically, it looked like it would have worked out all right, but they did not do the pre-testing at the facility to make sure that it was as equivalent with what we've previously specified. That was one of the conditions that we had. So we did already begin talking with that vendor to see if they would be interested in becoming a part of that pre-approved list, and they said yes, so we're already working on that so that they are able to supply fully acceptable bids next year. So one of the things that we also noticed was that with the 9 of the 14 chemicals more or less staying flatlined or going down in cost, we're hoping that this is the beginning of a plateau or maybe a slight reduction in cost now that COVID instabilities have kind of floated past, if that makes sense. Time will tell to see if vendors continue that trend or if it's a plateau and it becomes our new normal. It also begs the question, going back to Travis's point about the Red River hardness being at a historic level this year, long-term treatment train updates being incorporated into our upcoming master plan that we're working on. So we're looking at this from all angles, not only from an operations perspective, but a financial one as well. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
One thing I want to point out is that, you know, between the previous item and this item that we've been talking about, there's a lot of things we're trying to work on strategically to, one, from a financial perspective, but also from a water quality perspective. And these are important pieces that we need to continue to keep our finger on the button on, because there are, you know, if we can reduce our costs, then we can help reduce our rates as well too, our rate increases as well. So I applaud the water plant staff and water division staff for the hard work they've been doing the last few years on this.
Yeah, I'll echo that, Travis. And the only question I have is, has the DNR study moved forward at all as far as the basin-wide analysis of pollutants in the Red River?
The DNR didn't have a whole lot of involvement. The MPCA did tackle a RAPS report.
Yep.
The MPCA did cover a RAPS report for the upper Red River Basin. The heartburn that we have with it personally is they did not look at non-carbonate-based ions in the river system itself that drive these hardness levels to these highs. They did look at nitrates, sulfates, and a couple of the other more traditional items that MPCA looks for, but they didn't expand their focus to the extent that we were hoping for. So that will more than likely need to be negotiated with at the regulatory level with us involved to see if there is a way for them to partner with us on this, because it is certainly outside the scope of MPS water utility to track down these types of hardness increases. We'll really need state resources to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no questions, I'll look for a motion to approve the bids.
So moved.
Motion from Lysa, second from Ness. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Move to item number 15. Approve the addition of section 10.22 on Minnesota paid leave to MPS personnel policy manual.
Yeah, I'll start this, and if we have questions, I might be bringing Katie Kemper, our HR generalist, up to help answer some of these questions. In 2023, the state of Minnesota approved the Minnesota paid leave is what we're calling it. It goes into effect January 1st, and so part of this is we've been kind of waiting to see if they actually extended it from 25 to 26. And so we're waiting to see if they were going to be able to come online in '26 or if they were going to pause it for another year. With that, there's some notification or requirements to employees on this, and trying to make sure we've got all of our ducks in a row as well too. The paid leave is an opportunity for employees to have personal leave for, say, they've got had a new baby or some type of major medical where they've got to be out of the office, and they'd be able to get a portion of their salaries paid while they're gone. They've also got an additional piece of that for the family portion of that. So you say a son or parent or somebody gets hurt, or daughter, they can be gone for that as well too. There's 12 weeks for both, a total of 20 maximum as part of the state requirements or mandate. And part of this goes, basically we're requesting that this policy be approved tonight so that it can be put into our personnel policy manual for the employees. That then triggers the notifications to the employees on their impacts as well too. It's 0.88% of the employee's wage. The employer is required to pay 50% of that. Employee will pay the other percent of that. So 0.44% for employer, 0.44% for employee. That has a total impact based on MPS, the number of MPS employees of about 52,000. Of that, the employer is required to pay about $26,000 of that. So again, we've did some research, or Katie did a lot of research on this. We did look at private insurance for this. It did come in a little bit less than the 0.88, it was at 0.7. However, with some garnishments and some other things that were of concern, and we decided to stay with the state program for the first year. And this can be adjusted from year to year, so if we're seeing issues with it or want to go to the private insurance, we can do that next year as well too. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
All right, great. Any questions?
I should note that the HR working group did meet on this earlier today to talk through it a little bit, and they don't have any concerns with it, so.
I was just going to say
Perfect.
that.
Okay.
We met today on it as an HR working group. Katie was there, Mark was there. We had our questions answered. I mean, in reality, this is a statewide mandated program that's not even half-baked, and it's starting in January, and I think it's going to be difficult to administer, not only from the state's level, but from all of the businesses and entities that are supposed to be doing something that not everybody really understands, and they don't have it fully staffed, and it's just going to be really interesting, to say the least. But congratulations to Katie for doing all the work she did to get this policy made. So MPS is doing their best to follow the law.
All right. Any other questions? All right, I look for a motion.
Second.
All right, motion from Ness, second from Borgen. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 16, approved memorandum of understanding with IBEW.
I think that was, Sue, did you provide that to the commissioners?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So just a quick update on that. We didn't have you've been provided a draft version of the MOU. We're still working with IBEW to acknowledge it's actually going to be a memorandum of agreement. So I'll step back a little bit here. So back in September of 2024, we had two unions, IBEW union and an AFSCME union. And at that time, the AFSCME group decided to decertify with AFSCME. That was approved in October 24th, 2024. And based on that, they had to wait 1 year before they could talk with any other unions to be involved with that. Over that time, we basically just kind of moved forward with the existing personnel policies and their vacation and sick leaves as is, provided them notification of that. Going forward to October of 2025, those employees then did sign with IBEW. We met with IBEW twice in the last couple weeks, trying to work through this. Overall, it's been a very cordial, easy discussion to work through it. Again, we're looking at adding roughly 7 classifications to the collective bargaining agreement with IBEW. And then there's a couple of items that were addressed as well too at that point in time. So overall, what we're looking for tonight is for you guys to approve this contingent upon final legal review, as we're still working through the details of that memorandum of agreement with them.
All right, great. Any questions for Travis?
Really no financial impact. The employees are all in the base pay structure. It actually probably benefits them a little bit because we then now have one health insurance instead of two. All employees will be on one insurance plan.
All right, great. Okay, I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
Motion from Borgen, second from Ness. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll move to item agenda number 19. Approve sponsorship request from Moorhead Parks and Recreation for family swim night at the Moorhead Municipal Pool. That's kind of fun since it's November to talk about swimming.
Going to do a
so.
polar plunge? No, just joking. So trying to get in front of this, I know the pool should be, the new Moorhead Municipal Pool should be operational in early June of 2026. And so that some of that advertisement can occur in advance, the Moorhead Parks has requested sponsorship of a family swim night, and we used to do this before they decided to remodel it, so we're bringing that back. So this is part of the 2026 budget. We do have roughly $50,000 a year we can spend on sponsorship and marketing, and as part of that, this would be for the 2026 budget. To approve that, estimated cost is about $2,250 for that event, for that evening. And this is expected to occur soon, August of next year. So similar to when we had it in the past. So we're just trying to do that so we can get some advertisement out earlier. I would say just do it as a sponsorship, and then it's usually whatever that, basically they do a head count, and then they subtract out anybody that's got a pool pass, and that's the total that we pay. So it's roughly about that $2,250. Sue, correct? Yeah.
Well, it might be more if we have a nice fancy pool and everyone
Definitely
wants to check
could,
it out.
definitely could be. So, I mean, maximum of the size of the pool is 450 people that can be in there at once. So that would be the maximum.
Sure. All right. Do I have
Second.
a second? All right. Motion from Ness, second from Lyseth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I have a question.
Sure.
So how much did we spend of our 50,000 this year? Do you know, Travis? Because we're getting
Yes.
close to the end of the year. I'm just wondering if we got close to doing the 50 grand or if we were way
We
off.
are close. We're at about $42,000.
Oh,
And I
good.
know Sue was looking at seeing if there were some reimbursements from MRS, so we might actually have a little more.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. We'll move to agenda item number 21, closed session. So this meeting will now be closed for executive session. As permitted by Minnesota statute, section 13D.05, subdivision 3C, to discuss possible property transaction involving parcel number 58.199.0150 in Moorhead, Minnesota. Do we expect action to be taken upon conclusion of the executive session? Okay. Further action is not expected in open session. Therefore, we will adjourn upon conclusion of the executive session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Lyseth, second from Ness. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.